If you've spent any time in a Nikon forum over the past 6 months, you've watched the same argument happen on repeat. Half the room insists the Nikon Z8 II is landing any moment now, pointing to patent filings, firmware breadcrumbs, and supply chain leaks. The other half insists that's impossible because the Nikon Z9 II hasn't even shipped yet, and Nikon has never released a Z8 successor before its flagship sibling. And that tension is exactly why the Nikon Z8 II conversation has become impossible to ignore. So let's be honest, this is huge, if true. Let's dig in. Let's start with the thread generating the most genuine excitement: thermal performance. The original Z8 is an extraordinary camera, but anyone who's pushed it through a long 8K recording session in summer heat knows the ceiling is real. The most repeated rumor around the Z8 II points to a fundamentally redesigned internal thermal architecture. Some sources specifically mentioning graphene-based heatsink technology, supported by patent filings that have surfaced from Nikon over the past several months. If that holds, sustained high bitrate recording without thermal shutdown stops being a hope and becomes a genuine spec. Battery life is the second major thread, and it's grounded in something more concrete than pure speculation: real user frustration with the original Z8's 340-shot CIPA rating. Rumored improvements point toward revised power management hardware combined with smarter software, adaptive EVF brightness, intelligent standby behavior, potentially pushing the CIPA rating up significantly and stretching continuous 4K recording time well beyond what the original Z8 could manage. Autofocus is where things get genuinely sophisticated. With Nikon Z9 firmware updates in early 2026 reportedly introducing new AI inference architecture, there's a credible thread connecting that same foundational technology to whatever processor eventually powers the Z8 II. The expectation isn't just faster subject detection, it's predictive behavior tracking, anticipating where a subject is about to move rather than simply reacting once it does. Now here's where we need to pump the brakes a little, because not every rumor deserves equal weight. Claims about a 60-megapixel sensor jump appear to directly contradict Nikon's own documented engineering philosophy. Their previous statements have consistently emphasized 45.7 megapixels as the optimal balance of speed, resolution, and heat management for this class of camera. Similarly, while Red's influence on Nikon's broader thermal engineering seems credible given the acquisition, claims of full Redcode RAW support inside the Z8 II remain entirely unverified. The most likely internal formats continue to point toward NRAW and ProRes RAW HQ, Nikon's already established codecs. The lesson here: separate the patent-backed thermal and battery rumors, which feel solid, from the more speculative sensor and codec claims, which feel like wishful extrapolation, dressed up as leaks. Here's the challenge that honestly matters more than any single spec: sequencing. Nikon has a well-established, historically consistent pattern. New flagship technology debuts in the Z9 first. Then, 12 to 18 months later, that same technology trickles down into the Z8. We saw this exact rhythm with X-Speed 7, Z9, then Z8, then ZF, then Z6 III, then Z52, then Z5 II, then the Z-R. It's not a coincidence. It's deliberate revenue sequencing, letting Nikon capture premium pricing on the flagship before the technology becomes more broadly available. And right now, the Z9 II itself is reportedly delayed. Multiple sources pointing toward complications integrating Red's technology smoothly into that flagship body, with some speculation suggesting the camera could slip from a hoped-for early 2026 window into late 2026, or even early 2027. That creates a genuine bottleneck. If the Z9 II is the gating camera, the one that has to ship first before its core technology can trickle down, then a Z8 II arriving in 2026 would actually break Nikon's own established pattern. A handful of rumors do exist suggesting Nikon might leapfrog the order this time, releasing a Z8 II before the Z9 II to capture hybrid shooters who never needed the Z9's extreme durability in the first place. But the more credible, pattern-consistent analysis still points toward the Z9 II launching first, with the Z8 II following roughly a year later. This is the real tension underneath every leak we just covered. The specs might be real, the technology might be ready, but the calendar, Nikon's own internal product logic, may simply not allow the Z8 II to exist yet, no matter how loud the rumors get. Timing pressure isn't happening in a vacuum either. Canon's EOS R1 already established its position in this exact hybrid category, and Sony's A1 II followed with its own aggressive flagship tier feature set. Industry watchers have noted what appears to be a deliberate 6 to 9 month gap in Nikon's planning, an attempt to avoid launching directly into the teeth of either competitor's latest hardware. That's smart positioning, but it's also a constraint. Nikon doesn't just need the Z8 II to be good, they need its timing to land in a gap their rivals haven't already filled. And there's still the internal competition problem hanging over all of this. Whatever Nikon eventually builds for the Z8 II can't be so capable as to undermine demand for the Z9 II once that flagship finally ships. Every rumored thermal and battery improvement we covered earlier has to be weighed against that careful internal balancing act. Let's talk honestly about numbers, because the picture here is genuinely mixed. Rumored pricing consistently points toward $4,499, identical to the original Z8's launch MSRP, which would be a meaningfully creator-friendly outcome if Nikon holds that line while delivering real thermal and battery improvements. Timing is where the real disagreement lives. Some sources have pushed hard earlier for an early to mid-2026 window, but the more pattern-consistent, sequencing-aware analysis points toward the Z9 II landing first, likely late 2026 or even into 2027, with the Z8 II following roughly 12 to 18 months after that. Genuine consensus simply doesn't exist yet, and anyone telling you they know the exact date with certainty is guessing harder than the rumor mill itself. So where does that leave us? The thermal engineering rumors feel real. The battery improvements feel grounded in genuine patent activity. The AI autofocus direction feels consistent with where Nikon's broader ecosystem is already heading. If even most of this holds true, the Z8 II will be a genuinely significant upgrade, but the sequencing problem is real too. Nikon's own historical pattern suggests the Z9 II needs to arrive first, and that flagship is currently running behind its own original schedule. So here's the honest takeaway. This is huge, if true. And right now, if is still doing a lot of heavy lifting. Subscribe so you're there the moment real confirmation arrives. Thanks for watching.